Hello and welcome to Galaxy Primetime News. My name is Manwar Yamasaka and we'll begin with the headlines. This passes the Southwest Development Commission Establishment Bill 2024 for third reading. The Independent National Electoral Commission issues certificate of return to the Edo State Governor-elect Monday Okpebolo. On the foreign scene, South Sudan's army launches a major offensive against capital Khartoum. The news of these and more will come to you shortly. Do stay with us. And now the news in full. The Senate on Thursday passed for third reading the Southwest Development Commission Establishment Bill 2024. Also, the upper chamber also confirmed the appointment of Olukemi Victoria as one of the commissioners in the National Population Commission representing Ondo State. Correspondent Kunojo completes the story.
The passage of the bill for third reading by the Senate during plenary was equal to a report submitted to that effect by the Chairman, Senate Committee on Special Duties, Senator Kaka Shehu Lawan. Senator Kaka, in his presentation of the report for the establishment of Southwest Development Commission, said the intent and purposes of the bill are well structured for socio-economic development of Southwest.
That the establishment of this commission will bring the federal government closer to the Southwest states as well as meet the yearning and aspirations of the people. Recommendation. The committee, having considered the proposed bill and taking into account the relevance of the Southwest Development Commission, the committee resolved that the southwestern geopolitical zone of this country should have one and accordingly recommends.
The Senate accordingly moved into committee of the whole for clause-by-clause consideration of the bill, after which it was read for the third time. In his remark after the passage of the bill, the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Barau Jibrin, who presided over the session, commended Senator Kaka-led committee for a job well done. According to him, the Southwest Development Commission, like other ones recently established, will address infrastructural and ecological challenges in the Southwest.
That will, when passed into law, will help to really deal with the challenges being faced by the southwestern part of this country, infrastructure challenges, ecological challenges, and so on and so forth, and will help to put that region in the best place to have an environment that will be conducive for the people in that region.
The Senate at the Thursday plenary also confirmed the appointment of Olukemi Victoria Inyata as one of the commissioners in the National Population Commission representing Ondo State. The confirmation of Inyata by the Senate followed consideration of recommendation made to that effect by its Committee on National Identity Card and National Population.
That the committee sat, perused through the credential of the nominee, and we had the cause to also write to the DSS, the Nigerian police, to actually confirm there was no query or petition against the nominee. We look at her credentials, her places of work, and we are really satisfied that she has passed the standard.
The Senate accordingly moved into committee of the whole for clause-by-clause consideration and confirmation of appointment of Olukemi Victoria Inyata as Commissioner of the National Population Commission from Ondo State. In his remarks after the confirmation, the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Barau Jibrin, admonished Inyata to join other commissioners and chairman of MPC to move the commission forward.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Mrs. Olukemi Victoria Inyata, representing Ondo State, for appointment as a commissioner for the National Population Commission? Those in favor say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The Senate has, however, adjourned its plenary till next week, Wednesday, from the upper chamber of the National Assembly. Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
The House of Representatives Committee on FCT has approved a 288 billion naira supplementary budget for the Federal Capital Territory Administration FCTA. The budget prompted by additional inflows from internally generated revenue and miscellaneous revenues amounting to 8 billion naira and 280 billion naira respectively, aims to support critical developmental projects in the capital city. The committee, led by Honorable Aliu Mukhtar Betara, emphasized the urgency of passing the bill to initiate the project. President Bola Tinubu highlighted the positive socio-economic impact of ongoing projects and the need to fulfill key deliverables, some of which were omitted from the 2024 budget.
Well, there are critical projects that need to be started by next week because of the time frame. So I think the minister, but when we look at the budget supplementary issue that he requested, most of the argumentation that he requested are part of the statutory for 2024.
The House of Representatives has urged the federal government to direct NNPCL and Dangote Refinery to allow independent marketers to lift premium motor spirit from the Dangote Refinery. This resolution followed a motion of urgent public importance by Honorable Obuku Foji, who highlighted concerns over NNPCL and major marketers being the exclusive off-takers, which could lead to monopoly and a lack of competition. The House called on Dangote Refinery to establish or partner with tank farms across the country to improve accessibility to petroleum products. Additionally, the House requested NNPCL to disclose the price it sells crude oil to Dangote Refinery and for Dangote Refinery to reveal the price it sells PMS to NNPCL, ensuring transparency and accountability. The Joint Committees on Petroleum Resources, Midstream and Downstream were tasked with ensuring compliance.
Note that in view of the high demand by millions of Nigerians for PMX and the ordeal they go through to get it, the NNPCL should allow independent marketers to lift the product from the Dangote Refinery.
I think it will be a duplication of efforts. I am sure in the course of the investigation, the GMD will be called upon to answer questions. So rather than subjecting him to several visits on one subject matter, I think we should put our confidence on the Joint Committee, let them do a holistic job and report back to us.
The House of Representatives also resolved to investigate allegations against the EFCC and Nigeria Correctional Services regarding the prosecution and imprisonment of cross-dresser Bobrisky. The decision followed a motion by Honorable Patrick Umo, citing a publication by Martin Vincent Otse, also known as Very Dark Man, which accused the EFCC of dropping money laundering charges against Bobrisky after receiving 15 million naira.
Disturbed about the damning allegations against Nigerian critical law enforcement agencies of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and Nigerian Correctional Service, established by these hallowed chambers to fight correction and incarceration persons convicted of crime for correctional purposes, respectively.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has issued certificate of return to the Edo State Governor-elect Monday Okpebolo and his deputy Dennis Idahosa. The certificates were issued to them by the INEC National Commissioner in charge of Edo State, Rhoda Gumas, on Thursday, 5 days after Okpebolo and his deputy were declared the winner of the poll. The issuance of certificate of return has officially confirmed Okpebholo Anidahosa as the governor and deputy governor of Edo. Okpebholo will succeed Governor Gordon Obaseki, who will leave Usadebe House on November 11 after completing 2 terms in office. Okpebholo, the governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress, was declared the winner of the tightly contested Edo governorship election on Sunday. The returning officer for the election and the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Mina, Professor Farouk Kuta, announced the result at the INEC Collation Center in Benin City.
It's a new dawn. We have, when a lion moves into your home and start destroying your property and eating human beings and eating up your animals, and you can do nothing. The power of democracy is that because the process is tenured, when it is time, the honorable people will now have the potency to make a verdict about the tenure.
Distinguished senator who has a blueprint for the development of Edo State, and we assure you, you will see.
Meanwhile, Governor-elect of the All Progressive Congress APC, Monday Okpebholo, has said he was expecting a congratulatory message from the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP), especially its candidate that lost in a just concluded gubernatorial election, Asiu Godalo. Okpebholo, who received his certificate of return from the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) on Thursday before visiting the presidential villa to meet with the President, Bola Tinubu, said he will run a servant leadership to the people of Edo State. He also revealed that he was ready to work with the opposition if they have useful ideas to add to the value of the state. Former governor of the state, Adams Oshomole, said the state is now blessed with a governor they can relate to easily. According to Oshomole, who was once the national chairman of the APC, said governance was not necessarily building roads and schools, but about a leadership that is compassionate and listens to the feelings of the people. He said only God can confer power. Man can make all the effort. If God chooses not to crown it, it will be in vain.
To the party where this is your victory, to the leadership from Edo, it is yours. Thank you for giving us the joy of this victory. You work hard. You earn the victory. Democracy is difficult, particularly in the emerging economy like ours. If you hear complaints from America and other places, you know how difficult it is to navigate, a democracy. But it's the best form of government. It's the only way for stable development and progressive realization of our dreams.
Your Excellency, we are here in order to thank you. We are here in order to appreciate you. And we are here also to present you the governor-elect and his deputy governor-elect. You recall, Your Excellency, sometimes in February, we conducted the primary for our party to get ready for the gubernatorial election, and 16 aspirants contested. After the election,
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. Officers of the Nigerian Correctional Service have been suspended over bribery allegation by the popular cross-dresser Bob Risky. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Do stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 018-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comment, so you can easily scan our IG QR code. 5 individuals involved in the Ofa robbery incident have been found guilty of illegal possession of firearms, armed robbery and culpable homicide. Justice Halima Salman of the Kwara State High Court stated that the offences are punishable by death. The incident, which occurred at 5 banks in Ofa local government area in 2018, left no fewer than 32 people dead, including 9 police officers, 2 of whom were women. The convicted individuals include Ayode Akimbosun, Aziz Salaudin Ni Ogundiro, Ibikunle Ogunleye and Adiola Abraham. The 6th suspect, Michael Adiku, a retired police officer, died in custody before the trial commenced. Presiding over the case, Justice Halima Salman handed down the death sentence to the 5 suspects after a 6-year trial that drew widespread attention. The convict faced a 5-count charge including conspiracy, culpable homicide, illegal possession of firearms, and armed robbery. Government at all levels have been advised to work more on improving the welfare of resident doctors and all other health practitioners in the country in order to improve the sector. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who was represented by the Chief Medical Director of the Federal Medical Center, Abeokuta, made this known during the scientific conference of the National Association of Resident Doctors. He said with adequate support, the country's health sector will improve and the number of Nigerian doctors struggling to get out of the country will reduce.
It is very necessary for government at various levels to ensure that they have a very good welfare package for resident doctors. Without resident doctors, it is just practically impossible to continue to render good services to our citizens. A situation where doctors are abducted, kidnapped in whatever form is not something that we should handle with just kid gloves.
On his part, the Governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun, represented by the Commissioner for Health, Tomi Koka, called on resident doctors to pay serious attention to the issue of healthcare waste management and the environment.
Healthcare waste and activities contribute to 30% of environmental challenges across the globe. So if we don't start doing something about environment, then what planet are we leaving for our children?
The national president of the association, on his part, commended his colleagues for their perseverance and appealed to them to continue to be patriotic and discharge their duties professionally. He also used the opportunity to call for the release of the abducted members and improved welfare packages. The event was attended by representatives of the President of the Nigerian Medical Association and other health-related associations.
As we navigate through our challenges with resilience and compassion, we do not forget to maintain the optimal health, for even the pledge that guides our activities dictates so. I wish to use this opportunity to commend all Nigerians for your steadfastness in advocating for the release of our incarcerated colleague.
Some officers of the Nigerian Correctional Service have been suspended by the Civil Defense Correctional, Fire and Immigration Service Board. They were suspended on Thursday after popular Nigerian crossdresser Bobrisky was quoted in an audio tape that he bribed the prison officials while serving his jail term. The board, in a statement issued and signed by Ja'afaru Ahmed, announced that it has suspended Michael Anugwa, a Deputy Controller of Corrections in charge of Medium Security Custodial Center, Kirikiri, Lagos State, and Sikiru Adekunle, Deputy Controller of Corrections in charge of Maximum Security Custodial Center, Kirikiri, Lagos State. The board also suspended ASC Ogbule Samuel Obina, serving at the Medium Security Custodial Center, Afikpo, Ebonyi State, for allegedly accompanying a convicted inmate out of the custodial center to a location outside the facility. In another related development, the board has equally suspended another senior officer of the service, Deputy Controller of Corrections in charge of Medium Security Custodial Center, Kuja Abuja, for allegedly receiving monies on behalf of an inmate. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has embarked on sensitization of healthcare providers in Oyo State on substandard and falsified medical products. Speaking at the program in Ibadan, Roselyn Ajayi, Southwest Director of NAFDAC, said the program was in line with the agency's mandate to regulate and control the activities surrounding regulated products. She maintained that one of the strategies being used is aggressive sensitization of various stakeholders, especially those in the distribution of healthcare products like drugs, has helped in curbing the menace. Ajayi further stated that advocacy visits to traditional rulers, churches, mosques is another key component of the program. The NAFDAC box, however, sounded a noted warning that substandard and falsified products might be cheap but could cause more danger. Also, Adebayo Badamusi, the chairman of Association of Community Pharmacists of Nigeria Oyo State branch, urged Nigerians to always patronize only registered pharmacists to get quality drugs.
There have been a survey conducted globally and locally. Under this the current administration of Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, there was a survey that was conducted in the year 2020, and the level of prevalence of substandard and falsified product was determined. Of course, we also have global survey. And then since then, the concern had been, how do we bring these rates low? Because if we are having a high prevalence of substandard and falsified products, it means that the users, that is the patients that will be offered this product.
For you to buy a original drug, go to the right places. The first place, you must go to registered pharmacies that you are sure that you will get original drugs. And even though when you get to a registered pharmacy, ensure that for that drug you check the expiry date, you check the manufacturing date. It must have an expiry date, it must have a manufacturing date, it must have batch number, and again it must also have a place where it's being manufactured.
Public health practitioners under the aegis of Health Promotion and Education Alumni Association Ibadan College of Medicine have warned people against the practice of relying on artificial intelligence in taking medical prescriptions, noting that such practice may be injurious to health. The three-day conference themed Artificial Intelligence and Innovations in Public Health in Ibadan. The experts, stakeholders and elders in the field said this in their separate remarks at the opening of the Scientific Conference of Health Promotion and Education of Ibadan College of Medicine. They said the act where people consult the internet instead of consulting qualified medical practitioners is on the rise, warning that medications prescribed by the AI or sourced online may not take recourse to medical history of patients and may cause more harm to people. The president of the association, Dr. Bright Orji, said AI has come to stay and there is a need for moderation in the usage, particularly for public health consumers and practitioners alike.
The reason we want to do this so that everyone is well abreast of what to do. You can observe that even the social media is being misused, it's being abused. So it's very important that it's a whole lot of information, but yet there is disinformation in the age that we live today. The emergence of COVID, the emergence of Ebola taught us a great lessons. In fact, during the period of Ebola, people were drinking bags of salt as a way to prevent it.
We have to be careful that people don't begin to use AI in place of healthcare workers, because some AI tools, I would say, hallucinate. So you have to be a content expert to know what it is talking about. So if you use an AI tool and you ask it to do something, you have to be knowledgeable enough to know that what it has done is correct.
AI also helps in research. You can't do research without community, without the people. It's not possible. No, it helps in data gathering, and when you have your data, then you have your baseline, and you can, from data, you can promote health, because if you don't have a base, you cannot generate data, then you can't promote people's health. You must know the beginning, you must analyze the data, and use data to promote health.
The federal government has been advised to pay serious attention to the increasing rate of infrastructure decay across the public schools in Nigeria. An educationist, Professor Kainde Oluwaseun, and other speakers at a public lecture stressed the need for government, both federal and state government, to focus on equipping schools with ICT facilities. Correspondent Kunujo completes the story.
Speaking on the state of education in Nigeria at a forum organized by the old student alumni of Commanding School, the University Don called for a state of emergency in Nigeria education system due to poor state of infrastructure. Professor Oluwaseun said education system is in a critical stage that requires serious attention, saying public schools in Nigeria are in precarious situation. On his part, the global president of the association, Olumide Agbola, admitted that government at all levels have critical roles to play in ensuring that the sector meets up with the required standards, especially now with the era of artificial intelligence.
We have gotten to a critical point in Nigeria why we need serious government intervention in terms of financial, basically, to fund education in Nigeria. The Nigerian public schools are in serious financial jeopardy. Most of the infrastructure are nothing to write home about. What the state of public schools are no longer what they used to be. We need the federal government to seriously declare a state of emergency in the Nigerian educational system, particularly focusing on public education.
The government really has a huge role to play in education. The essence of education cannot be overemphasized. And so the government has a huge vacuum in the discharging of the responsibility to the schools to fill up the ICT segment, especially considering that we're in an age where AI is coming into play, artificial intelligence, we're having serious computer intelligence.
Other speakers at the event, including the commandant of the school, Lieutenant Abubakar, emphasized the need for collaboration among all stakeholders in the education sector, just as they advised students to remain focused and desist from vices that could jeopardize their future.
Today's event is a challenge to the rest of our learners. There is time for everything. Your own day of joy and celebration will assuredly come, but now is the time to prepare for the future. You reap what you sow. Definitely with the hard work and enduring commitment to your studies, this shall not be mirage to you.
They should continue to grow. They should have someone that they look up to in terms of
somebody that they look up to in terms of further their education, in terms of making sure that they go advance in their education.
Speakers further appeal to parents to be alive to the responsibility of providing sound education for their children and wards. Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
The National Association of Nigerian Students has stressed the need for citizens to support their leaders and the country despite the progress made, as there is still much to be done. The president of the association, Comrade Loki Emunefe, while speaking with journalists in Abuja ahead of Nigeria's 64th Independence Day, emphasized the importance of the celebration, recalling the sacrifices of the nation's forefathers who fought against colonialism. He announced a nationwide campaign by the Nigerian students to promote patriotism among students, the country's future leaders. The NANS president expressed concern that many Nigerians take their independence for granted, forgetting the hardship faced under colonial rule. He urged citizens to back their leaders even when disagreeing with policies, as their success or failure is a shared responsibility. To foster patriotism, NANS has urged activities including special prayers in mosques and churches on campuses to pray for Nigeria's prosperity and guidance for its leaders.
We are using this opportunity of the forthcoming Independence Day celebration to pilot this plan through series of activities lined up nationwide. I am pleased to inform you that NANS, under my leadership, has planned series of activities to ginger up our dear members, our respected students, to own up their country, and for us all to celebrate Nigeria in a grand way.
Organizers of End Bad Governance protest have reiterated their determination to go ahead with the next phase of the movement slated for October 1st, the nation's Independence Day. Leadership of the movement said because of the socio-economic situations facing the people of Nigeria, October 1st this year has been declared National Day of Survival, and the day shall be celebrated with mass protest. Galaxy News correspondent Lebby Joseph was at the press parley and files in this report.
Intimating newsmen about the planned coming nationwide End Bad Governance in Nigeria protests, the spokesman of the movement, Comrade Taiwo Azan, popularly known as Soweto, said the protest will hold as planned because out of all the demands outlined during August protests, none have been attended to by government. Instead, things have gone worse in the country.
Life has become even more unbearable for many Nigerian people. Many are starving as the increase in fuel price has also impacted food prices. Inflation has rendered the 70,000 new national minimum wage irrelevant and incapable of bringing any relief to Nigerian workers. At the same time, the sharp rise in the cost of imported goods has rendered traders and shopkeepers redundant, as shops are overflowing with goods that no one is ready to buy.
As part of their demand for better governance, the movement called for better security in the country, reduction in food prices, implementation of 70,000 naira minimum wage across board, and most importantly, reduction in cost of governance.
Every October 1st is a day to celebrate Nigeria's national independence. We do not think that our country has anything to celebrate this year. Nigerians are neither happy nor free after 64 years of political independence from colonial Britain. Rather, the Nigerian working masses are poor, hungry, and hardly surviving. Many working families are at the point of starvation. Several people have lost their jobs. The middle class has been destroyed. The rate of suicide is increasing.
And stringent conditions we are given to the ones that we are arraigned, that we are giving bail condition. And as I speak, only 3 are out of prison. and we have 7 still remaining. Aside that 7, we still have 39 that have not been arraigned at all.
Hazards of living in Nigeria is a right. So the fact that we had some protests from August 1st for 10 days, and there is no any positive takeaway for the people, demands that this protest should continue.
From Lagos, this is Lebi Joseph reporting for Galaxy TV News.
The Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees, NULG, has called on the Local Government Autonomy Implementation Committee set up by the federal government to hasten the process of submission of the framework for the implementation. The national president, Olatunji Ambali, made the call while reading the communique issued at the end of the National Executive Council meeting of organization, which was held in Abuja today, Thursday. Ambali charged federal government to immediately take steps towards ensuring the conduct of free, fair and credible elections across all the local governments in Nigeria. He added that it will help to reduce the imposition of undemocratic leadership such as caretaker committees, sole administrators and others on the local government by the state government.
Of which by 11th October, the implementation of full financial autonomy in line with the Supreme Court judgment shall take full effect. The NEC in session urges the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria to also ensure full implementation of minimum wage across board, including local government employees, to alleviate hardship faced by Nigerian workers, and that the distribution of CNG buses be also distributed to local government workers who operate within the remote part of the country to ease means of transportation.
The national president further stressed the need for urgent review of the 2014 local government scheme of service to strengthen the functionality and equity for local government employees. Ambali, however, appreciated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for granting financial autonomy to the local government, which the union has been clamoring for over decades.
NEC in session called for urgent review of 2014 local government scheme of service to strengthen the functionality and equity of local government level and ensure career mobility and productivity at local government level through the Ministry of Intergovernmental Affairs and Special Duties.
The Defense Headquarters says troops of the Nigerian military have neutralized 1,937 terrorists, arrested 2,782 suspects and rescued 1,854 kidnapped hostages in the third quarter of the year 2024. Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, who disclosed this during the quarterly media briefing on the ongoing military operations at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja on Thursday, said 65 terrorist senior leaders were also wiped off the battlefield during the period under review. General Buba said troops' offensive actions culminated in the neutralization of several notable terrorist leaders, commanders and combatants across all theaters of operations, which include Munzir Arika, Sani Dila, Dan Hausawan, Jubila, Amir Modu, Matawal, Bitrus, Thomas Benedict, Mohammed Sani, Rimi, amongst others, several others. He also revealed that troops recovered 1,304 weapons, 43,347 ammunition, and denied the all theft of an estimated sum over 13 billion naira.
Indeed, all through the stretch of the third quarter of this year, we've carried out synchronized bombardment by the Air Force and our ground forces, and this has significantly diminished terrorist military capabilities as well as their networks. The troops' offensive actions have culminated in the neutralization of several notable terrorist leaders, commanders, and combatants across all the theaters of operations that we're involved in.
And now we'll move over to the foreign desk for more news.
This is news from the international scene. Sudan's army has launched a major offensive against the powerful paramilitary group it is fighting in the country's civil war, targeting areas in the capital it lost at the start of the conflict. In dawn strikes on Thursday, government forces shelled Rapid Support Forces RSF bases in the capital Khartoum and Bari to its north. Sudan had been embroiled in a war since the army and the RSF began a vicious struggle for power in April 2023, leading towards the UN has called one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. Up to 150,000 people have been killed in the conflict, while more than 10 million people, about a fifth of the population, have been forced from their homes. Witnesses reported intense aerial bombardment and heavy fighting on Thursday as army troops crossed two key bridges over the River Nile, which had separated government-controlled areas in Omdurman from the region controlled by the RSF. Since early in the war, the paramilitaries have been in control of nearly all the capital. Thursday's advances appear to be the government's first significant push in months to regain some territory. The offensive comes just before Army Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan is set to address the UN General Assembly in New York later on Thursday. The UN has called for immediate action to protect civilians and end the fighting. Much of the worst and most intense fighting have taken place in a heavily populated region. Both sides have accused each other of indiscriminately bombing civilian areas. A Cameroonian separatist leader has been arrested in Norway for his alleged role in the ongoing armed conflict in the Central African country. Lucas Ayabacho was arrested on Tuesday on charges based on his various expressions on social media, his lawyer told newsmen. Cho is an influential figure in the Anglophone movement pushing for independence from Cameroon, where over 6,000 people have been killed and nearly 1 million others displaced since fighting began in 2016. Some in the country's two English-speaking provinces say they are discriminated against by the French-speaking majority. Human rights group Amnesty International has accused both government troops and the armed separatists of killings, rapes and torture of civilians. A Cameroonian official told newsmen that Norway and Cameroon had a security agreement which could see Cho being extradited in the coming days. Cho, who described himself as a liberation leader, is one of the most prominent separatist leaders shaping the conflict in Cameroon's restive Anglophone regions. The 52-year-old heads the Ambazonia Governing Council, AGOVC, a political wing of the Ambazonia Defense Forces, ADF, one of several armed groups seeking independence from Cameroon. Russian President Vladimir Putin has previously threatened the use of nuclear arms, but his new proposal expands those scenarios. Vladimir Putin says Russia would consider an attack from a non-nuclear state that was backed by a nuclear-armed one to be a joint attack in what could be constructed as a threat to use nuclear weapons in the war in Ukraine. In key remarks on Wednesday night, the Russian president said his government was considering changing the rules and preconditions around which Russia would use its nuclear arsenal. Ukraine is a non-nuclear state that receives military support from the US and other nuclear-armed countries. His comment comes as Kyiv seeks approval to use long-range Western missiles against military sites in Russia. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has traveled to the U.S. this week and is due to meet U.S. President Joe Biden in Washington on Thursday. where Kyiv's request is expected to be top of the agenda. Ukraine has pushed into Russian territory this year and wants to target bases inside Russia, which it says are sending missiles into Ukraine. Responding to Putin's remark, Zelensky's chief of staff Andriy Yermak that Russia no longer has anything other than nuclear blackmail to intimidate the world. Still on the international scene, President Volodymyr Zelensky visited the Scranton Army ammunition plant alongside top Democrats on Friday. The Speaker of the U.S. House, Mike Johnson, has demanded that Ukraine fire its ambassador to Washington as a feud between the Republican Party and Volodymyr Zelensky escalates. Johnson's intervention comes after President Zelensky visited an arms factory in Sanctuary, Pennsylvania, the hometown of President Joe Biden, in a key swing state with several top Democrats. In a public letter, the top Republican said the visit was designed to help Democrats and claimed it amounted to election interference. The role was threatened to overshadow Zelensky's meeting with President Joe Biden on Thursday, during which he will present a plan for victory in his country's war with Russia. Since his arrival to the U.S. on Sunday, Zelensky has ramped up efforts to persuade the U.S. and other allies to lend more support to Ukraine as it fends off Russian advances. On Thursday, Biden announced that the U.S. will send $7.9 billion worth of military aid to Ukraine in a surge of assistance as his presidency nears its end. The aid, part of a $61 billion package that passed Congress in April, includes additional Patriot air defense missile and long-range munitions. The weapons package will be approved through President Drawdown Authority and will pull from existing Pentagon supplies to deliver the arms more quickly. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is facing federal criminal charges, according to Newsman. Federal investigators searched Grassy Mason's mayor's official residence on Thursday morning, hours before prosecutors were expected to review details of the indictment. Adams, 64, was elected to lead the most populous U.S. city nearly 3 years ago on a promise to rein in crime. But he and a string of top officials in his orbit have faced growing scrutiny as part of multiple federal corruption probes, including whether his campaign received illegal foreign donations from Turkey. The exact charges will not be known until the indictment is received. Adams would become the first mayor in New York City's history to be charged while in office. He released a video statement late on Wednesday where he vowed to fight the charges and remain in office, asking New York residents for both prayers and patience. "I will fight these injustices with every ounce of my strength and my spirit," he says in the video, adding, "I am innocent," and he plans to request an immediate trial so New Yorkers can hear the truth. He also took on the flurry of calls for him to resign. Lastly, on the international scene, people in Florida prepared sandbags to protect their properties from flooding. Hurricane Helene continues to strengthen as it barrels towards the U.S. Gulf Coast. The Category 1 storm is on track to intensify quickly into a dangerous Category 4 hurricane by the time it makes landfall in Florida Thursday evening local time, with official forecasts and warnings describing its likely impact as catastrophic, life-threatening and unsurvivable. The governors of Florida, Georgia, North Carolina and South Carolina and Virginia have declared states of emergency ahead of the storm's landfall. Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula at the tourist resort of Cancun and Cozumel were spared major damage when the hurricane skirted its northeastern coast but failed to make landfall. As at 1 a.m. local time Thursday, it was north of Mexico and heading north towards the U.S. It is due to become a Category 4 hurricane at 7 p.m. local time on Thursday before making landfall in northern Florida shortly afterwards. Videos uploaded by tourists and locals in Cancun showed buses attempting to drive through flooded streets in the area where many of the city's hotels are located. But the state governor said there had been no casualties, and officials reported the power was being restored to areas where it had been cut. And that's it from the international scene.
And up next is entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom Moye. Here are the stories for today.
Social media user Radio Guard has claimed that Bobrisky was never in prison but a private apartment chilling. This claim is coming amid the revelation of VDM that Bobrisky connived with some government agents to serve his jail term in a private apartment. While Bobrisky has denied the claim, it was alleged that Bobrisky was never in prison. Meanwhile, rapper and activist Falz confirmed his contact with Bobrisky in connection to Bobrisky's legal issues earlier this year. Falz revealed that Bobrisky begged him for 3 million naira to secure a VIP section at the correctional center. This statement comes after Falz's legal team, Fallon and Fallon Chambers, issued a letter to VDM demanding a retraction of defamatory claims made against Falz. The letter addressed a post in which VDM implied that Falz had conspired with Bobrisky to pervert the cause of justice by financially aiding him to secure a favorable legal outcome. It explained that the rapper declined any financial involvement. Falz's legal team emphasized that the rapper discouraged any payment for Bobrisky's persisted, but Bobrisky persisted, blaming his legal team for advising him to plead guilty. The chambers demanded an immediate retraction of the defamatory statement and a public apology across all platforms. Failure to do so in 24 hours would result in legal action, including a claim for damages to Falz's reputation. VDM makes a dramatic U-turn, apologizes to Femi Falana and retracts earlier defamatory claim. In a post, VDM denied defamation claims against Femi Falana and affirming his request. Also, Minister of Interior Dr. Lubumi Tunji-Ojo has ordered an unconditional and comprehensive investigation into the allegations of bribery and corruption within the Nigeria Correctional Service (NCOS). He unequivocally condemned the alleged reprehensible behavior, emphasizing that any form of indiscipline, unprofessionalism and corruption would be met with zero tolerance and severe consequences within the paramilitary service under the ministry's purview. He reassured Nigerians that the investigation will be rigorous, transparent and impartial, and that appropriate disciplinary actions would be taken against any personnel found guilty. Also, the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) has expressed concern over allegations that officials of the EFCC accepted a 15 million naira bribe to drop a money laundering case against convicted Bobrisky. The president's son applauded the EFCC for its prompt decision to investigate the matter and called for an independent inquiry by the Attorney General of the Federation and the Office of the National Security Advisor (NSA). Describing the allegation as disturbing, the investigation to determine whether the bribe was indeed paid and whether such practices occurred to influence the charges against defendants in criminal cases. Additionally, the NBA urged Nigerian Correctional Service to address claims that Bobrisky did not serve a sentence in a correctional facility and to provide clear details regarding the conditions under which his sentence was served. Media personality Agatha Mata, the ex-wife of Nollywood actor Fred Amata, has said a word of prayer for their daughter's death as she weds her Caucasian lover. Taking to her Instagram page to show photos from the low-key ceremony, Agatha expressed how happy and proud she was of her daughter's vow. She sent her best wishes and blessings to her daughter as she began the new chapter and prayed for a lifetime of love and happiness for the new couple. In another post quoting Proverbs 18 verse 22, she revealed that her daughter took the bold step and she is proud of her. Noticeably absent at the wedding was Steph's actor father Fred, who many believe is deadbeat, as he was absent at her brother's wedding. Popular Nigerian food content creator Ife's Kitchen has opened up about her personal journey through 9 years of infertility, shedding light on the emotional challenges and societal pressure she faced during that time. Speaking during a recent interview on the Terms and Conditions podcast, the content creator detailed the emotional turmoil of the waiting period for a child. Initially, Ify and her husband had planned to take their first year of marriage easy without focusing on starting a family. However, by the second year, they found themselves questioning what was happening. She recalled how over time their worry intensified and weight took a toll on her mental and emotional health. She even believed that God hated her.
And that'll be all on entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Rose Blossom Moye. Bye for now.
And that's what we have on Galaxy Primetime News. Thank you so much for being a part of the news. My name is Nanwangi Mazaka. Goodbye.
Are you an experienced radio presenter? Do you know